slide is all about estimation. Estimation allows us to take a calculation, round off each value, and perform the calculation in our heads without having to use a calculator or depending on any other means of calculation. It gives us a rough estimate of what we need, and it is one of the most used techniques actually in daily life. I'm sure you've estimated things a lot. So let's just look at some of the rules regarding estimation in this unit. So estimation, here's the definition: approximate value to a calculation. You round each number before the calculation is performed. So rounding is when you take the number in front and use it to either round up or keep it the same. So for example, if you had 275 and you wanted to round to the nearest tens place, this 5 bumps the 7 up to an 8. The rest becomes 0. Now, remember, if it's 5 or greater, it bumps it up. If it was less than 5, like 4, it would keep it the same. It wouldn't bump it up. So it'd be 270. Now, there's a couple of rules for estimation when you're either multiplying or dividing or adding or subtracting. So when you're adding and subtracting, you want to round all your numbers to the same place value. When you're multiplying or dividing, you want to round each one to the highest place value to make it even easier to multiply. Let's check out a couple examples. Here's some examples. First one, estimate the cost of 263 cans of soup at $1.19 each. So first think, am I multiplying or dividing or adding or subtracting? We're multiplying or dividing, so we're actually multiplying here. We want to do 263 times $1.19 to get the exact value. But since it says estimate, you don't have to complete that precise calculation at all. And remember, multiplication, you round each one to the highest place value. So the highest place value here is the hundreds. So the 6 bumps the 2 up to 300. The highest place value here is the ones. The 1 does not bump this 1 up. It keeps it at $1. So then we basically have 300 times $1, which is $300. And you've just made an estimation in your head of how much this bill would cost. Next example, you've got 5 days. The price of certain shares has changed as follows: up 0.51, down 2.23, down 78 cents, down 5 cents, up 49 cents. So they want you to estimate the overall change during this period. So in this case, we're adding and subtracting. So that means we need to round every single one to the same place value. So you can choose either round them all to the nearest tenths or all to the nearest ones. Let's see here. What do we have? We have a $2.23. You know, I would almost just round to either $1 or $2, etc. So let's round to the nearest 1. So the first one would be plus the 5 bumps this up to a $1. The second one goes down 2.23. Now this 2 does not bump the 2 up, so it stays at $2. And then it goes down 78 cents, which rounds. The 7 bumps up. And the 8 doesn't bump the 7 up to bump the other one up. The 8 has nothing to do with it. You only look at the number next to it. So the 7 bumps that up to $1. And then here we have down. This is 0. Does not bump up the 0 to a 1. It keeps it at a 0. And then up. The 4 And this is an example. The 9 does not bump the 4 up to a 5. So the 4 does not bump up the 0. I know it's really close, but in technical rounding, we don't round that up. We keep it at $0. Basically, it gets compensated by the other ones being only 0.51, rounding it up to $1, right? Okay, so let's do that in our heads. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Minus 1 is negative 2. And then minus 0 plus 0. So really, we have an overall estimate of a change of down $2.